What's going on, y'all? Ghost MMA here, and today, man, we got a TFC prediction video for the July 11th event that is happening this weekend. And man, we got some badass fighters upcoming on the stage. To be fair, I always get so excited when watching these because you can literally see the passion, the drive that these fighters always have. It's amazing to see. I always get so excited when I see this. But today, we're gonna be doing a breakdown on fighters, how each fighter can win, what they're good at, some little holes in the game, and lastly, who do I have winning? By the way, I'm not paid. There's no bias towards any of these fighters. I have, the highest respect for them of all. This is just kind of what I observed and what I've seen, all right? So this is all raw, all dirty, all right? No, I'm sorry. Anyways, no, seriously, let's just get right into it. First match is a boxing match. We got two opponents. We have Killa OG versus Toni right here. He has the quickest finish in TFC history, but let's talk about Killa OG. He is 160, 5'10", very well built. Kind of reminds me of a Bobby Green. Like, hands down, walk him down, like, what's up? What's up? Come on, what's up? Yo, that's all? Come on, what's up? Like that's what Killa OG reminds you of. But he's, like, super respectful, great sportsmanship. But, like, I like that style that he has where he just has his hands down. He's like, what's up? Because, man, he's got some heavy hands. He's got some pop in his shots as well. He's got great uppercuts. He's got a big left hand as well. Big left hand that will be coming through. And another thing I like about Killa OG is that he will mix up his shots. He likes to go to the body. He'll target the head. Body, head. Like, he will mix up the shots. He's got good combinations. And to be fair, the angles that he throws at are kind of odd, but they're so efficient. So efficient. Very efficient when, because you can hear each shot land. And I will say, he has a pretty solid gas tank. But, that Young J match, a bit questionable. But I'm not taking that away or taking it away from anything. Considering it was a few weeks ago, it might have been short notice. Like, I do not know the full circumstances of that. But he can adapt pretty well into a fight. He usually adapts into, the situation, whether it's a brawl or whether he's got to move around and pick you apart. That is what I noticed from Killa OG. So, man, he's got some heavy hands. I will say that. But Toni, man, he's got big power, big swings incoming, very aggressive and explosive fighter. And I haven't seen too much film on Toni, to be fair. But, man, he's firing missiles. Man, he's firing big shots. He's an all-pressure fighter, and he will hunt for the finish. He's got big power, big swings. He's a natural finishing instinct type of guy. He's looking to send you out of here. He's ready to send you to Valhalla, brother. All right? But no, he's got great forward pressure, and man, he wants to fight. Like, if he wants to fight, he's gonna force you into the fight. Like, he's just up in your face. He's gonna make it dirty, rough, and he's always looking for that finish. He's a great hunter, man. But I will say, there are some holes. But Killa OG, sometimes he will sacrifice his big shots to get more volume off. So he'll usually try using more volume, but it's not enough pop in the shots. And another thing I noticed while watching is that sometimes before clashing, his defense will I don't want to say drop, but it kind of gets loose a bit. So when that clashing starts, it kind of leaves him open for counters. So you got to be careful when you're trying to clash with someone. Keep that guard up. Work your magic as you usually do. Work those odd angles. Work those combinations. But sometimes I realize that his defense can get a bit loose. But for Toni, it could backfire because, to be fair, like I said earlier, I don't know his full skills or his potential. So he could be limited. He could be like a one-dimensional fighter. I'm not too sure. And another thing I noticed while watching this was he's not too crazy on the footwork, so you don't have to worry about him cutting off angles, shifting to the other side, landing a big right. So there's a chance that he could gas if the later rounds do occur. And another thing is that his defense, it's a little bit loose as well. It's a little bit basic, but honestly, the keys to victory, I say, for Killa OG is put the pressure on and set a brutal pace on him. Work the 1-2s, work those body shots that you keep working up. Keep mixing up your combinations, because you got some nice ones, man. You got some nice, beautiful angles coming from those shots. Those angles are a bit awkward, but those awkward angles will help you. And just stay composed. Do not get wild with the volume to set yourself up for the counter. So you don't have to blitz them. You don't have to just keep firing, because there is a chance you could get countered and catch a big one. So just stay composed. keep, put the pressure on him, set a brutal pace. And another thing is, if it goes longer, than the 2-3 rounds, pick up the volume. That's when you start picking up the volume on him. That's when you can really start to get loose a bit more, and just start landing some nice ones from those awkward angles that you can land at, because you do a good job at that. You do a very good job. Now, for Toni, his keys to victory, I will say, I would probably say explode right away. Like, right off the gate, go at him, and set your pace. Make it fight at your pace, Toni. And just close the distance. Use that forward pressure that you keep doing, and make them in your world. So explode right off the gate, set it at your pace, close that distance, and use that forward pressure that you have, that you showed against Hunter X, because this was a great performance from you. But if you're going to do that, you got to be aggressive but smartly. So you got to make it in kind of like a bar fight, a little bit dirty, get up in the pocket, and start to exchange. But I'm going to go with Killa OG by, I would say probably a close decision, or like a late round stoppage within like 2 or 3 rounds. Like a late, it's going to be a late round stoppage, because right off the gate, these guys are going to clash, I feel. I have that feeling he's going to be able to pull off that style of Mr. Walk him down, all right? That's just my opinion. I think Killa OG should have this, so I think he might be able to hunt the finish. But next fight, we got Markqey versus White Wolf in kickboxing. Now, I've actually fought White Wolf before. It's kind of sick, I'm not going to lie. Such a great experience. Such a great guy. I have nothing but respect and love for my boy White Wolf. Shout out White Wolf, man, for real. He's taking on a young, dangerous dude, though. Very dangerous. Man, but Markqey, though, he's got great heavy pressure. His work rate against, this one light, the dude from South Korea, which he lost to a unanimous decision, but he showed that he can stay in there. He can grit down. He can fight. He's not that bad of a fighter. He's kind of similar to White Wolf a bit, because White Wolf, he's tough. He's got high pressure. He pushes a fast pace. He'll force the engagement. He has decent enough kicks, and he can eat a few big shots. Like, I remember when he kicked me down low, I caught the leg, scooped him towards me, and I threw up a big elbow. I just threw it upward, kind of like my forearm elbow-ish. And I remember, if you slow it down, you can see it. It landed right on his chin. Man, he stayed alive. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that. But with White Wolf, he's got that battle veteran experience. So he just keeps coming back. He learns from each loss, and I can respect that. But the one thing I do see with White Wolf, when that car wreck happens, or like the opponents crash into each other, he seems to panic just a bit. Like, he'll take some very big shots, and that could gas him. That could gas him for the later rounds. And when he starts to, when that wreck occurs, he gets a bit panicked. So he'll start throwing a bit more wildly. But that also leads for openings and big counters to be, there to be hit. At times, he can struggle with the range as well. We've seen it against Young Jay when he fought White Wolf. He couldn't get Young Jay. He just could not get to him. But I will say for Markqey, for you, I would say tighten up the defense a bit. Don't be afraid to, play a little bit more defense. You don't have to use all offense. Like, move your head and just your footwork, man. Keep your footwork on pace. Keep it moving. And you got to be careful, because if you're not tightening up your defense, White Wolf will continue to kick that leg. And you don't want to get stuck in a scrap if he is controlling the range and distance. Because Markqey is young. I don't think he has the same battle veteran experience as White Wolf. But this is a kickboxing match, so this should be very interesting. So, keys to victory. White Wolf. Pressure. If you can pressure him, close that distance. Use the counter to, land those big overhand shots. Exploit his defense. And use those kicks. Make it dirty. Make it a very dirty fight. Pressure him right up, right there. You have to keep pressuring him. You have to, exploit that defense more. And just pace yourself. Use that veteran experience to survive the storm. Pull the head later in the fight and keep those kicks up. Because you got some nice kicks, man. You very, very much got some nice kicks. And Markqey, your keys to victory, I'd say maintain your distance while keeping up with the volume. So make White Wolf work for those. Make him come to you. But, you have to make him come to you. And you have to make him work to get on the inside. So if he's trying to get on the inside, throw those big shots. Pick up the volume a bit. And honestly, consistent pressure. Keep that pressure, but very smartly. Pick your shots selectively and use those feints. Use the feints, get them thinking about what could happen. And just keep your composure. Because if you can manage out managed to wear out White Wolf, I think you can set up the combinations and counter very well. But I am leaning towards Markqey. I think he's a little bit more solid durability, and that pressure with collision could overwhelm White Wolf. So I'm going to go Markqey by decision. I don't think it's going to be a finish. I think it's more going to be a decision. But it's going to be a great fight. Like, this is going to be a fun, high-intensity matchup, and I think it's going to be a badass fight. I'm excited. But this next one, man, this fight was sick. This fight was sick. God damn. This first match was beautiful, man. Dillion did win. Let me show you. The one in the white is Dillion. This is Rashid. So, Dillion, he's got an aggressive bully style. He's kind of like Ilya. He forces the game plan onto you. There is no running. You're forced to pretty much fight him. He's pressuring you. He looks to set up the big shots. He'll land clean, big, heavy shots. And the thing is, with him, he has the pop in his hands to pop his opponents. And like I said, he's a bully. He likes to lead the dance. He will lead it because he's gritty. He's tough as hell. And he's got high, big pressure always coming at you. And he's got big power shots as well, man. Big power shots. And with Rashid, he's very effective with those jabs. He got great body attacks. I remember he kept popping that jab to the body. And then he would come up top with the cross. He's got good ring awareness as well to see, like, he's not trapping himself into bad positions where he gets up against the cage and then, Dillion just starts to unload. Like, Rashid knows where he's at in the octagon/ring. So that's very good on him to know that. Plus, he's very durable. Durable as hell. He was taking some big-ass shots during this match. And he didn't get dropped, nor did he quit. So that's high respect. He's a tough-ass fighter. And, he tried to stay busy. He did try to stay busy back as well. When he was catching those big shots, he would fire back as well. But it wasn't overextending or doing too much. But I can say, with Dillion, when he starts to get backed up, it's because he's not leading the dance. So he may eat some volume to look for his big shot, but that could always backfire as well, especially when you get up there in the weight classes. But with Rashid, he doesn't really have like the pop in his shots to like rely on, so he's going to have to rely more on like volume. He's going to be walking into the uppercuts. That was another bad thing I did not like. He kept walking into the uppercuts, like he would dip his head down with his guard up, and the uppercut would come flying up. And it was like a big uppercut too. And honestly, there is a chance he could gas if it turns into a straight brawl. So, let's just get right onto it. Keys to victory. Dillion, pressure. If you can put the pressure on him as you did in this first one, cut off the ring, keep landing those uppercuts, land more body shots, and just mix it up. Keep that pressure on and mix it up on him. Like, work towards him. Make him fight you. Mix it up to the body. Go up top, do an uppercut, right back to a cross. Like, keep it going. But you got to stay composed as well. And don't chase the finish, because the moment you start chasing the finish is the moment you start to gas yourself. So you got to be careful when you're doing that. But keep that pressure on. If you can keep that pressure on as he has been, keep mixing up the shot selections and just stay composed, I think he can win this. But Rashid, your keys to victory, I would say high volume. Like literally right off the gate, you got to get on him. High volume early, weather that storm. Keep mixing it up to the body. Go to the body, go to the head. Weather up a storm very early. Like, get him working right off the gate. And he's very durable, so if you can stay durable and fast, pick your shots selectively with like that stiff jab that he has, I think that will work in your favor as well. So you always got to keep moving. You got to move. And you got nice body shots. Because if you can slow down the body shots with those jabs, as we just talked about, you'll stop some of that pressure coming towards you. And then you can start finding your shots. But who do I have winning this? I'm going to go with Dillion by decision or like late round TKO, like round 3-ish. Because, man, Rashid is tough as hell. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be a decision as it was the first time. But I just believe Dillion has a bit more pop in his shots. A bit more technically smoother. He's, if he can get another great job on cutting off the ring, which he has done in this one before. And, man, if you keep finding those nasty uppercuts, you'll be able to win this. But Rashid has great awareness of the ring, but I just feel like Dillion will land the heavier shots, and that pressure is more of a threat, I feel. So that's who I got with winning. I would say this is like the co-main event, because the real main event is here. 2 weeks ago, I made a video about the call-out. Young Jay called out the Crusader. And we got it, boys. We got the matchup. We got the Young Jay versus the Crusader, man. Sick, badass fight. It's a badass. And honestly, I know both of these guys. I've talked to both these guys in real life. Both of them are phenomenal fighters, phenomenal athletes. It's always so fun to watch these guys fight. It truly is. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, man, you know, get a little shiver, you know? A little shiver in my timber. But, man, let's just get right into this, man. Like, first we'll start with Young Dre. I'll move on to the Crusader. I'll talk about the keys to victory. And then I will give you my final prediction at the end. So, Young J. Young J, man, this man's got great volume. All right, let's start off there. Great volume shots, man. He is always on the move. And he's got good forward pressure, actually. You know, he likes to keep that range a bit because he is long, he's tall. But when he can pressure you forward, he does that very good. Because he can control the pace. So he controls the pace of the pressure. He's not a bully. He's not forcing you to just get in the pocket and phone booth fight with him. But he does a very good job at mixing it up. And honestly, he's got very excellent combos. And his work rate is phenomenal, man. I mean, I seen his, you know, personal IGs and all this type of stuff. Man, he can gas, yes. But anybody can gas. But I've rarely seen him gas out. Because he's always the one that's controlling the dance. He's controlling the pace. He's got a stiff and strong jab. But it's not even just that. If they try blitzing him, he will throw this check hook. And that's nasty as fuck. And honestly, he does a great job at circling away from, like, the power hand. Or, like, the big power that's, you know, he doesn't circle into the power hand. And honestly, I think he's got great fundamentals overall. His defense is pretty solid. He does move his head. He shifts. He likes to move out the way. He will mix it up from, like, up top to the body shot. Jab to the face, cross to the body. And honestly, he's very composed in, like, many of the matches I've seen. I've yet to even seen him panic in, like, a match. And that's great. That's always so great because when you see fighters start to panic, that's when it gets bad. But the cons, I will say, he can be outpowered by, like, the bigger, stronger guys if he decides to stay in the pocket and try to make it a brawl. And at times, I've seen him throw, like, very high volume, great combos, but there's just not the pop. There's not the pop in his shots to, like, Dillion, or understand Dillon's, you know, way much more bigger. But if he threw, like, a little bit more with, like, more intent, I feel like it could be a little bit more dangerous for other fighters. And at times, he can get drawn into brawl exchanges instead of being that technician at work. All right? So you gotta be careful when you're getting in there, trying to brawl with people like that. If he can keep his technician, he'll be all right. But let's talk about the Crusader. The Crusader, man. God damn. He's an aggressive power hitter. His forward pressure can break many fighters. And I've literally seen it, like, firsthand. I've seen him break many fighters in there. I've seen him throw, like, heater shots. Heat shots. And honestly, I think he's an overall great fighter. He's got real power, like, a great finishing ability. And he can hurt people with the shots that he ends up throwing. And his combinations are beautifully well done. He's not a Golden Glove fighter for no reason. He has fought, you know, in real boxing competitions. He's got great forward pressure, and he will force a fight. There is no running away. He's like another bully. He's like a bully in there. Like, you can't run, you can't pick apart your shots. He's going to force you to stand there and fight with him. And honestly, he's got a very strong-ass chin. Strong chin, big heart. He stays in the fights that I've seen fighters fold. I will say that. I've seen a lot of fighters fold in positions that I've seen the Crusader in, and I'm just like, damn, he's tough. He's a tough guy. But his build does help him. It helps him get on the inside, work that close-range combos. And honestly, he's got very high experience in championship fights. Considering he was a champ for the Street Beefs organization, like, he's used to championship fights. He's used to that high pressure. But that cardio is solid, but it's not the elite of the elite. He will slow down if the volume fighter can push a pace with the high volume on him. His recent match against Old Man Davis, that's a great example of it. But Old Man David, you know, he's been around the fight game for a while, so he knows. And at times, he can overcommit on the big shots. And there is a counter to be there. And the defense can get, you know, a little bit loose if he's just looking for that big shot. Like, he'll kind of drop his guard a bit. And, he wants to brawl with you. But, man, let's get on this keys to victory. Young J. Box smart. If you move, stick with the basics. 1-2s. Use that movement as you do. Cut those angles. Use that reach. I think that's a one-way key to victory as well. But you also got to set a high pace very early. Target the body. Keep at range with those jabs. Circle away from his power hand. Fire that right hand. And honestly, just stay composed. Stay composed. Do not brawl with him, and use the high volume to take away the Crusader's explosiveness and take him in later in the rounds. Take him into the deep waters, and that's when you can kind of set up the pace and keep that high pace going. But the Crusader, keys to victory. Make it a phone booth fight, man. Close the distance. Cut off those angles. Don't let him get away. Don't let him keep that distance on you, and turn this into a brawl. Turn this into a phone booth fight. As I said, if you can get in there and just scrap, rip to the body a few times, come up top, big one. Like, if you can keep that, little phone booth energy, that's one way. But another thing is, you got to pace yourself as well. If you can save energy for like the later rounds to capitalize, then that's when you really start to throw some bad intentions, such as those big hooks that he's got, those little sneaky uppercuts and, little body whips that he does towards like the liver shot. Like, that's when you start throwing with bad intention. And honestly, just make it ugly. Make it ugly. Use that pressure, make it a scrap, and make Young Jay respect your power. Because if you can get him to respect your power, he's going to be, kind of thinking about, oh, damn, he's got power. I got to be careful. And he's going to be a bit wary of what shots. He's going to be more selective of his shots. But that allows you to get in there and make it ugly and turn it into that phone booth fight. And that could be one of your keys to victory. So, overall, oh, man, I can't believe I got a pick back. Oh, my God, bro. All right. Listen, I will say this. I don't see anybody getting finished from this at all. I don't see anybody getting finished. But there is a chance, though. There is a chance, man, that, the Crusader blitzes. He has that big power to land clean. But I'm leaning towards Young Jay with the decision, man. I think if he can keep it smart, keep that movement, I think he could be able to outpoint the Crusader. But he has to be careful. He's got to be careful. Because the Crusader, he really does carry some real power. He's a pretty big 125er. And if Young Jay isn't that technician and he falls into that like phone booth scrap, phone booth fight, there is a chance that the Crusader could, either outpoint him or land a big body shot that could potentially drop Young Jay. But I'm going to lean towards Young Jay with the decision. Man, this is going to be such fireworks, man. This is such a badass fight. Holy shit. I am so hyped for this. I'm doing a reaction video as soon as this drops. Because I'm excited, man. Dude, this fight is so badass. And by the way, for any of you fighters listening, I'm not biased. Or, I try not to put my bias into it. I just simply observed, the pros, cons, kind of what I've noticed. And just kind of how I thought of, like, the keys to victory. Don't take anything I say seriously because I'm just some dude over the internet. But boys, if you enjoyed today's video and want more of this, let me know down in the comments down below. And tomorrow, I got a Chameleon gaming video dropping Friday. Nice little gaming video. So much fun. Best hide and seek game ever, swear. But this is such a badass fight. We'll be doing a recap as soon as this is all wrapped up and done. But if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe, like, y'all know what to do, man. And I will see y'all in the next one.